What's making you feel bad and what's the real problem is what you think that problem means. It's the meaning that you attach to the situation you're in. And if you attach a negative meaning to it, you're going to feel bad. You're going to feel stressed and frustrated. And as we'll talk about later, those feelings of stress and frustration, all they can do, because of the way your brain works, all that can happen is it can only make your situation worse. So it's all about the meaning that you attach to a problem. You know, there's a funny story about two men on an aeroplane, and they get on the plane and one's shaking and looking all terrified and worried, and the man sits next to him, he's all happy, and he looks at the man who's all stressed and worried and says, "What's the problem?" And he said, "Oh, I don't like flying on planes because, we might crash." And the other man said, "Look, don't worry about it. It's not our plane." But anyway, that's the point, isn't it? Getting on an aeroplane was a problem. A flight was a problem for one man, but it wasn't a problem for the other. And what was the difference? It wasn't the situation. It wasn't what was actually happening and going on. It was how they felt about it. Now, when you really understand this, when you really think it through, and I'd encourage you to think it through about your own problem, it's what you're thinking about it, it's what you think it means that's causing you all the stress and the frustration. And what is a problem? A problem is nothing more than something that makes you feel bad. Imagine the scenario where a man comes along to his wife and says, "I want a divorce." Now, if the wife thought, "Oh, that's terrible, I don't want a divorce. What would happen to me? What would happen to our children? I would never find anyone else in the future to love me. I'll be all alone. I'm terrified of the future. I won't be able to cope." Now, if she thought that, what's her reaction going to be? Well, she's going to see it as a problem. And she's going to get stressed and frustrated, and she's going to want to solve that problem. And her solution to that problem is to heal that marriage and get her husband to change his mind. But what if the wife was had already been thinking, "Actually, I don't really want to be in this marriage. And in fact, I've met someone else even, and I'd rather be married to them." Now, if her husband came along and said, "I don't want to be married to you anymore," she wouldn't see it as a problem, would she? She'd see it as a good thing. In other words, she would see the opportunity that she would have when she wasn't married to that person. So it wouldn't make her feel bad. She wouldn't see it as a problem. In fact, she'd see it probably as the solution to a problem. So you can see it's exactly the same situation on the outside, but the difference between it being a problem and not a problem is how it makes the person feel, and that's based on the meaning of the situation that person has given it.